Hi guys, welcome back to the Tech Chat. Now I'm pleased to say that this time next week I will be in sunny Barcelona. I won't be sunning myself, I won't be drinking mojitos on the sandy beach, no. I'll be bringing you hands-on previews of all the latest and greatest shiny new tech at MWC 2016. That's the Mobile World Congress. But among all the gadgets, all the gizmos, two of the most anticipated announcements will of course be the Samsung Galaxy S7 and LG G5 smartphones. Everything will be revealed on Sunday the 21st of February. So what do we know so far about these upcoming smartphones? Well, the latest leaks appear to show the final renders of the upcoming Galaxy S7 and Galaxy F7 Edge. Samsung seem to be sticking with their refreshed design, which they introduced back on the Galaxy S6 last year, but I'm not complaining. The glass body and metal edge still looks great, even if it is a bit of a fingerprint magnet. It also looks like we'll get the choice between black, silver and gold as well. In terms of size, the S7 is expected to stay the same at 5.1 inches, but the Edge version is likely to be bigger at possibly around 5.5 inches, but both will feature the same Quad HD or 1440 by 2560 resolution, and possibly even a pressure-sensitive display similar to the 3D Touch on the iPhone 6s and 6s Plus. It's been all but confirmed that the new 12 megapixel camera is also thinner, so it shouldn't stick out as much as the current one does out the back of the phone. But speaking of the camera, 12 megapixels does sound like a downgrade from the current 16 megapixel on the S6, but as we all know, megapixels are not the full story, and the rumored new bright cell sensor should be able to capture better images in low light. In terms of hardware and storage, it's likely we'll see 4GB of RAM and at least 32GB of built-in storage on the base model, as well as either the Snapdragon 820 or the Exynos 8890 processor, depending on what territory you live in. Here in the UK, on the S6, we had the Exynos 7420, so it makes sense that on the S7 we'd also get the 8890 here. The battery size is also likely to increase to 3000 mAh for the S7 or 3600 for the S7 Edge, which is a full 1000 mAh bigger in capacity than the S6 Edge. And we are hearing rumours that maybe we'll get a full 18-hour video playback battery life out of the S7 Edge, which would be pretty good because if you've got an S6, then you know the battery is a bit rubbish. So any increase in battery is something that I think we can all look forward to. As well as that, we may also get IP67 water and dust resistance on the S7, along with micro SD card support and USB Type-C connector, which is going to be great news for those of you who thought the S6 took a bit of a step back from the more functional S5, since that had SD card support and waterproofing. But unfortunately, I don't think we'll be seeing a removable battery on the S7, which is a shame, especially since the LG G5 is likely to feature one. In terms of price, the latest rumour suggests the 32GB S7 and S7 Edge will cost 700 and 800 euros respectively, which is actually 50 euros less than the S6 and S6 Edge was last year when it was launched. So hopefully we'll see a similar £50 or $50 drop as well. Now, as for the LG G5, I think we'll see some similar improvements in terms of specs: 4GB of RAM, Snapdragon 820, along with 32GB of built-in storage on the base model. But it's also expected the G5 will have a few tricks up its sleeve, the most interesting of which is the rumoured new modular design, which, in place of the cheap plasticky removable back we've seen since the LG G2, the all-new metal design will feature a pull-out bottom section which will house the removable battery and quite possibly the nano SIM card slot and micro SD trays. It's also been suggested the volume buttons will move to the side of the phone, a more traditional placement, whereas the power button will stay, which will double as a fingerprint reader on the back of the phone. Speaking of security, reports out of Korea hint that we may be seeing an iris scanner as well as the fingerprint recognition, so the G5 could be one of the most secure phones on the market. There are some interesting rumours too that the G5 will actually have a Quad HD 5.3-inch main display, as well as a second 0.2-inch display on top, like we saw on the LG V10. I'm not a huge fan of this dual display idea. I think it's a bit of a gimmick, but I guess we'll see if it turns out to be true. But what everyone does agree on is that the G5 will have, like the S7, a USB Type-C port. Now, in terms of cameras, there's actually a little bit of uncertainty. Some have said it may come with either a 16 or a 21 megapixel camera, or even according to Droid Life, it'll have dual rear cameras, one 16 and one 8 megapixel, which, a bit like the HTC One M8, might allow you to adjust the focus after you've taken the picture. So we're not 100% sure what the G5's camera is going to be just yet, but I think it's almost certainly going to be better than the already excellent G4. As for battery life, according to VentureBeat, it'll only have a 2800 mAh battery, which is actually smaller than G4, but of course will still be replaceable. But with battery in mind, Android 6 Marshmallow will almost certainly ship on both the S7 and the G5, which adds features like Doze, which should improve the battery life quite significantly, particularly by reducing the battery drain in standby mode. Both the S7 and the G5 are shaping up to be really exciting new phones, and I'll be bringing you live hands-on previews of all the latest and greatest tech at MWC over the next week or so, so please do subscribe and stay tuned to the Tech Chat.